Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Mono White Cataclysm Stompy. Cataclysm is an awesome card, one of my favorite cards, published like 28 years ago or so in the Exodus set, and it reads 2 colorless, 2 white for a sorcery. Each player chooses from among the permanents they control an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and then sacrifices the rest. That is powerful. This is kind of like a Wrath of God. It's kind of like an Armageddon, but one permanent that is not listed because it didn't exist at the time is planeswalkers. Bye-bye Tamio. Bye-bye Karn. Like any kind of planeswalker your opponent has out, they immediately have to sacrifice it. They do get to keep a land. They do get to keep a creature. If they have an artifact or an enchantment, they get to keep those. But that's it. It's pretty powerful. Now, the rest of the deck is built around capitalizing this. You don't necessarily want to cast this quickly. In fact, you want your opponent to like kind of unload their hand, and then you get like a 4-for-1 or a 5-for-1. And then our deck is built to basically be able to win off of a single powerful threat. So we're just playing tons of powerful, disruptive 3-drops. We've got Anointed Peacekeeper. We've got Archon of Emeria. We've got Boromir, who shuts off all the 0 mana cost shenanigans that our opponents are doing. No more Force of Willing or anything like that. So it's also a protection spell that we can cast the turn before we cast Cataclysm. We've got Chalice of the Void to gum up our opponent's offensive Witch Enchanter to remove problematic artifacts or enchantments. And then Seasoned Dungeoneer at the top of the curve to bring us the victory. Solitude is our removal. We also have Touch the Spirit Realm, which is a very cool card that can be used to protect our creatures in addition to remove our opponent's creatures or enchantments, or artifacts rather. And this is an enchantment, so we can keep this out even when we Cataclysm. It's our only enchantment in the deck. And we barely have any artifacts, but we do have Moxen and we have Petals, and these are really here to just help us turbo out our creatures. We've got the Soul Lands. City of Traders doesn't mind going bye-bye. It was designed to go bye-bye when we Cataclysm. But Flagstones of Trocare, let me tell you about this card. When Flagstones of Trocare is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a Plains card. So essentially, you get a Flagstones out, and when Cataclysm happens, you just go get a land for that. So you can still have 2 or 3. You could realistically have 2 lands in play after a Cataclysm and potentially a Mox. So you can recover very quickly. But you may not have to recover because this is going to be so debilitating for your opponent. You may just have a few turns where you can beat them down before they can find lands. So Legacy's not designed for people to suddenly lose all but one of their lands mid-game, right? This card is way outside the power level that people plan for when they build decks in Legacy, and I'm hoping we're going to get a lot of people by some. In the sideboard, we've got 4 Plows in case we queue into a meta or like some sort of deck that doesn't care about Chalice. We've got 4 Clarion Conquerors. I wanted to play these in the main, but I don't like playing with Chrome Mox, and they're not that impactful against like Delver and Blue-Black Reanimator. 4 Anti-Reanimator, very macabre. Don't leave home without them. Like, I think this is the card to be playing against them. It can't be countered, and you save it in your hand, so it's not a permanent that can get removed or that you have to worry about losing when you Cataclysm. And then, just because I wasn't sure what to put in, Disruptive Flute is perfectly reasonable. So, this is the list. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely Blue-Black Reanimator player. This hand doesn't seem exceptional, but it does have a turn 1 Chalice, which is very good against their deck. And then we just don't really do a lot after that, but we do have these Witch Enchanters. I think I'm going to keep on the strength of Chalice. We have plenty of mana. Like, we'll draw threats eventually. We may draw some additional mana, so this may look bad, but I do like Chalice as something proactive we can do. Yeah. And then I could just... I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I think we can maybe do better. In the blind, I just don't want to keep a do nothing hand. This is a way better hand. I'm so glad I'm mulliganed. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll Ancient Tomb, turn 1 Chalice, and then if they waste, and then we can get Archon out subsequently. I'm going to put back the redundant Archon just in case they have a wasteland. I don't want to completely lose the ability to do stuff. And the second Archon doesn't do anything. Anointed Peacekeeper, on the other hand, is a viable backup threat. Chalice on the stack. That's a force. Pitching Brainstorm. They fetch. It is blue-black. Thoughtseize. Yep. Probably going to take Archon. So here, unfortunately, they could have Daze, and they could just shut down my my Peacekeeper, but I don't think... Well, I can play the Ancient Tomb out, and then I can tap that. If I were them, I'd probably take... Well, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense too. So we can't do anything? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I didn't even think about like playing the pedal out. That was a punt on my part. All right, I'm going to play this out, and we're doing nothing due to my failure to play out the pedal. Like, if I expected them to be Reanimator, I absolutely should have played that out. Here's the Ponder. We have a lot of white sources in our deck, even like a Chrome Mox. This tells me they're not hoping to play a long game, though, if they're taking that, because they're kind of cheesing me. Tommy, that's fine. I want to see what I draw. I don't want to Solitude, but I will Solitude main phase to deny them card draw. All right, that's unlucky. We're very far from casting this, unfortunately. I think that has to be the pitch. Yeah, and it sucks to have to pitch cast or remove a 1-drop, but this card is really powerful. Now they have a target in their graveyard that they can reanimate later, which is bad news for us. But Cataclysm, like, you need 2 white. One of the reasons oh yeah, here we go. We're dead. Yeah, and I genuinely believe that, like, if I had not done the way I did, we would not be in this situation. Like, if I had played out that pedal. Okay, sideboard. We're bringing in the Fairy Macabres. Cataclysm is actually not that great against them, unfortunately. I mean, it does clear, like, their Tamio. And so I think we can go down a little bit. It's not as good. I want to take out the Seasoned Engineer, too. Because if they reanimate it, it's a nightmare. That means I should probably bring in Conqueror. It may make sense to just take out Cataclysm and bring in Conqueror, because they're not going to want to reanimate that. Yeah, let's do that. That does shut off our Chrome Mox, unfortunately. They are a Days Wasteland deck. I don't want to give up that. Yeah, I don't feel like Seasoned Engineer is responsible against the Reanimator deck. One of the reasons this deck is not doing great right now is because blue-black Reanimators everywhere, and it's so easy to beat us by just thought seizing us and entombing us, or reanimating us. This is a mulligan. We do need mana. We have a lot of lands in the deck. This is a great heap. So what I can do is just open Chalice. I'm assuming they don't have a force. Which I assume they probably will have a force. But this is not a land you want to wasteland. And then what we can do is tap and then Boromir. They may daze it. But I do need to get this out. And I'd much rather them daze a Boromir than daze the Chalice. Like, if they have to live in a world where Chalice is out, that's a rough world for them to live in. Because almost their entire deck is 1-drops. Oh, keep. I want to put my backup city on the bottom. No, I'll put touch. All right. Do you have the force? You had it last game. They were playing like 5 forces. They thought for a while. So yeah, they didn't have it. And now that's really bad news for them. They may have like engineered explosives to deal with it. Okay. Flagstones. Did we take out all the Cataclysms? We took out 4 of them. And I don't think Cataclysm is good in this matchup at all, but it's very good against Karn Forge. I promise we're going to have it in for most. So I think here, I am going to go ahead and try to Boromir, because if it sticks, it's a pretty big deal. I bet you it's going to get dazed. Okay, it's in. And this shuts off all their 0 mana stuff. So they can't Chalice for 0 anymore. I guess technically they could, engineered explosives for 0. I guess, yeah, what they could do is they could tap a Wasteland to play an engineered explosives. That's technically spending mana, and then they could blow that up. Okay, so here, if they have Bowmasters, it's pretty bad because they can just trade effectively for this. So what I'm going to do, I'll play this out before combat. I'm going to attack. I guess I could have citied here and then seen whether they have a Bowmasters. They don't have a Bowmasters. Okay, that's a relief. Yeah, and then if I'd done that, but I just wanted to max, having lands out, because I do want to be able to cast Witch Enchanter. I actually don't know if it can hit anything in their deck. Like, I'd be surprised if they have any cards. Okay, they've been in the Entomb. Chalice is doing some serious work here. Okay, and they don't have a third land. They go to clean up. Okay, they discarded Traxxas, so there's a very real possibility they could have Animate Dead in hand now, unfortunately. Oh, what a rip. Oh, yeah. Before combat, I am going to go ahead and just play this out. All right. They don't have any cards I want to name here. I think the card to name is Animate Dead, or probably Petty Theft. Animate Dead I have covered. Wow. All right, Petty Theft is no longer operational. Let's go in. Yeah, we're going to kill them very quickly. I feel very good about this Chalice hand. They took a while to decide whether to mulligan, and they chose wrongly. They should have molded Force. I understand why they kept that hand. It is like a bunch of reanimates and entombs and stuff, but like Barragoyf would be annoying. Okay, not anymore. Let's go in. Both of these have Vigilance, which is nice. And I could add, I mean, this makes it lethal. I'm not going to use touch at instant speed. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and attempt to do this. I don't think they're going to counter this. And one of the things you learn playing Legacy is just don't give your opponents turns. Now, I mean, technically with that fetch, yeah, like this isn't going to matter. But now they have to remove this too. Wasteland. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and animate dead. Just kill this. Hit that, and I'll hit, I guess, Entomb, because that feeds a Merc later. Because this enters. They're dead. Yeah, Chalice is a heck of a card. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay. Final game of this set. I mean, again, Clarion Conqueror doesn't seem like it does anything, but it does shut off Tamio, which is an angle of attack that we have to worry about. I think we just run it back. Cataclysm wouldn't have been particularly good there. I guess it could have gotten like 2 of their lands, but they didn't have any other permanents. Also, they were wasting us, and they could have gone after, I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's 4 mana to cast this thing. It's expensive. I think against the tempo deck, we keep our curve lower. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run it like this. You may be tempted to bring in Plow here, but like it is dead to Chalice. Oh, maybe I should bring it in. I guess I could have taken out the Moxen. Oh, this is a good hand. If they Thoughtseize, they're going to take our Fairy, which will suck because we'll be screwed basically. Yeah, they'll probably take it. I think what I'll do is I'll try to... I don't want to get any of these cards dazed is the thing. Like, I don't think annoying a Peacekeeper is worth it if he's getting dazed. They didn't have the Thoughtseize, which is nice. Okay. I still think we just wait a turn cycle. I'm going to play out my Lotus Petal. I think I've learned from that mistake. Hopefully they don't Thoughtseize this. Like, hopefully they're going for Entomb here. They may get lucky. 2 cards out of 53 could be into reanimatable monsters. Okay, no action. All right, Ancient Tombs all around. Let's go ahead and do this. So Daze isn't going to work. They may have Fatal Push in. They may Entomb now, because I'm going to definitely name that. Just to jam them up for a couple turns. I can't ultimately stop it. It's too cheap. It's like 1 black mana, so is Reanimate. I will accept that, and we will go to the next turn. I can play a Witch Enchanter. It's not impressive, but like hoping to snag like an Animate Dead is folly, in my opinion. It's just a matter of time before they find a Wasteland. What? They put a Reanimate in there. That's crazy. They must not care about the Reanimate plan. Maybe they're going to murk us. Reanimating our dude. That's scary. I don't have a way to return it to my hand. I think it is correct to just go ahead and Fairy Macabre, my own dude, and I can hit their... Yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, I know. I mean, like, now they can do whatever they want, but they did use resources there. They don't have a Merc this turn, and even if they do, it's only a 5/5. I am a little worried about Barragoyf. Barragoyf is currently a 3/4, which is not that menacing. Oh my goodness, come on, deck. Give me some resources that I can use. I think we play out the Witch Enchanter and start hitting them. I don't think it's correct to stand around. Yeah, this is the flip side of having half your deck be mana, is that sometimes you just draw the mana half. And we're not drawing to like initiative or anything like that. We're just drawing to fair creatures like Anointed Peacekeeper. They're drawing a Merc. Okay. All right. Oh, that's lucky. They could have Bowmaster. I think it's correct to just attack in. Make them, oh my goodness. Make them have it. I'm going to play this out. I don't have Cataclysm in my deck. I think it makes sense to go ahead and play this out too. It's a nightmare. Okay, they don't have Bowmaster. Every hit that we gets them farther from being able to reanimate stuff, but like there's a very real chance that they just have Entombment and a... Okay, Brazen Borrower cast. We're losing this race now. Brazen Borrower can't block our Wish Enchanter though. Definitely don't want to tap these Ancient Tombs. Come on. All right, there we go. That's a good card. Play this out. I'm going to attack. And we're just going to go ahead and play. And Solitude is a great rip if we find Solitude. They may have a force. And if they force Solitude and then reanimate it, it's a disaster for us. They may keep their Borrower up, which is fine. I'm not going to trade my Conqueror for Borrower because it shuts off Tamio. I'm not going to bother playing this out, I don't think. They're pretty close to Hardcast Force. Yeah, I think it's better to just keep the city up. Another Wasteland. They may start firing these off, so it may make sense to play up Flagstones. 2 more taps and they're out of reanimate range in terms of what they can do. Oh, that's nice. I'll just hold the Tarker. Trocare. Hardcast Force up. Okay, here's something. Merc. And I could have potentially avoided that. I think we take this hit. I could trade. I trade. They hit me. I hit them. They probably have force up, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be a coward and block here. If they have Tamio, that's really annoying. No. Okay. Solitude, please. Wish Enchanter. I'll just go ahead and play Wish Enchanter out. And we're losing the race, but not by a... Wait, we're actually winning the race. So they attack for 5. Then we attack for 4. Yeah, we're barely winning it. But I don't think that's going to keep them from attacking. They could reanimate our Clarion Conqueror, and then that would completely shut down our offensive. But that would get them down to 6. I would just Fairy Macabre if they attempted to do that. They're going for it. I think this is a mistake, frankly, because now they reanimate's like kind of off unless they have a creature to play afterward. That's a good card. They could borrow here. Maybe I should have Archon first. That way they... But they probably will just force anyway. Oh, I think they actually do win the race right now if they're able to counter this. Okay, that gets through. Okay, and now I'm going to attempt to Archon. This will get Hardcast forced, I bet. Yep, and there was nothing I could do about that. So we basically just have 1 turn to draw an answer. And they can hang back and just use another force if they'd like. All right. They're at 1. They're going to be functionally at 1. It's so close. Oh, I'll try again. I'm going to do this now. Do you have another force? You do. And you were very slow to tap your lands. Okay, well, that was frustrating. Oh, wait. I can freaking cast this. I'm going to go to combat. Holy cow. I totally overlooked the fact that I have the mana to cast here. So I'll play this out just in case they have a daze. Black. Macabre. Holy cow. I was so close to conceding. They may still have this covered. They can't force. They can hang back and just not attack. All right. Fairy Macabre's in. They could just borrow it out if they have a borrower. All right. Unfortunately, they do have an animate dead. They're going to animate the Conqueror. I actually don't know if this saves them, though. I think I can just attack with everything, unless they have some surprise like borrower. But they would have just borrowed there. This is so sick. Under its owner's control. Let's do it. I'll get my dude back. Thank you. Uncounterable, unless you have a stifle. What a freaking sick rip. Holy cow. I did not expect to win this, especially after that first game punt. I don't know how they survive. Good games. Wow, we beat the blue-black Reanimator Menace with a freaking white deck. All right, Cataclysm friends, rejoice. We are up against a deck where Cataclysm is very good. Unfortunately, even though we have 2 Cataclysms, we don't have the mana to deploy it. Our opponent's on the... most likely on the blue Cloud Plus deck. They're very skilled. I almost always lose to them. I'll be very happy if I can beat them. But as you can see, it's like very dependent on like building up a big mana base. But a 1 mana source hand. I can't count as this. I mean, it's even the perfect land. But we're on the play. We had to do better than this. Oh, come on, deck. Don't do this to me. That is a disgustingly awkward hand. Not keeping that. This is Stompy life right here. Okay, we got a Cataclysm. Witch Enchanter is actually not great against their deck. Let's take a look. They have Chalice, which we don't care about. They have Disruptor Flute. Everything else is indestructible. I think Witch Enchanter goes back. Touch the Spirit Realm. Is it even worth playing? Nothing is really... Well, I mean, technically we can remove the One Ring with it. They do have Sink into Stupor. I'm going to keep... I think I put back Witch Enchanter and Touch, as sad as that is, and we just slowly play out lands. But, I mean, is there a reason to put back Witch Enchanter? We could draw... I mean, it might be relevant. It's probably not going to be. They're not going to be going after our basic... Like, I think it's a more flexible card than a third basic planes. Yeah, so I think I'll do it like this. Just in case they're on a different build. But classic Stompy opening of basic land, pass. But that happens when you have to mull deep. And you will. Believe me, this deck loves the London Mulligan. I don't think this archetype would really be viable without it. Okay, there's a Cloud Post. We have to get to 4 mana to Cataclysm. Okay, that's close. Closer. I'm going to hold the Witch Enchanter and... No, I'm going to... Yeah, I guess I'll hold the Witch Enchanter in hand. And I really do want to Dungeoneer before I cast Cataclysm and just let them deploy a little bit more. Maybe they force the Dungeoneer and then Cataclysm works. The longer you give them, the more stuff they get on the table. This is a creature. The Otter. This is Chalice. Love it. I don't even have any 2-drops in my deck, let alone 1-drops. A backup Cataclysm. Well, I am going to be Dungeoneering. They don't have a lot of creatures in their deck to take this away. That's very good that this got in. And what we can do next turn is we can Cataclysm and then we can play this land drop that we got. See how much mana they get. Even if they get the 1 ring, yeah, stock up. Knock yourself. They'll probably keep the Cloud Post and ditch the islands. So really we're just kind of like sinkholing 2 lands is kind of how one way to look at it. But we have another one. So I'm going to definitely forge here. I want to get them dead. Huh. That's cool. I mean, they have Force in their deck. We could take a turn off. Boromir. Let's go ahead and attack, and we get to reveal the card. So that's an extra card. This might get buffed even further. Lotus Petal. Do I want to put it in my graveyard? I think so. Okay, so they're taking 6. I mean, I'm so tempted, I think, to set back their development with this Cataclysm. And I'll just keep... They kept an island. They didn't force that. They kept their Chalice. They might as well. They probably realize at this point that it's not a good... I'll just play this... I could play this tapped. I don't think life total is going to matter, and maybe they'll play something that's worth blowing up. Let's pass. They opted to keep the Cloud Post, actually. Okay, they had another Cloud Post. So let's dumb them for 5. Trap! Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to kill him here. I want to wait one more turn cycle, but I do want a Witch Enchanter here. I'm going to go ahead and attack and see what they do. I don't think they're going to be able to K-Command. Oh, that's... Okay, so we could Cataclysm again and just get rid of one of their lands. That gets rid of 2 of our lands, though. I don't think that's correct. We could just Witch Enchanter, just gets another body, blows up their Chalice, maybe makes them think that we care about it. I think Boromir is better. Yeah, I'm going to Boromir. And then if somehow they survive next turn cycle, then we can Cataclysm. Like, I think even if they get the 1 ring and tap it, if we Cataclysm, they're not going to have much mana, and they'll probably die to their 1 ring before they can cast a second 1 ring. I might be wrong about that, though. They gain 3 life. Okay, 7 mana. They're going to start exiling our stuff with the damn thing. Yeah. Do you have another one? This will die when we Cataclysm. Okay, they gain 3 life to draw a card. Don't have a freaking 0 drop, please. All right. If this resolves, it's a big deal. We get an extra card. Okay, that's a good card. We can just go straight into the Throne of the Dead 3. Or we can try to kill this. My money is just on killing this. They can't force it. Oh, this is still upkeep. Sorry, I have a card draw too. I got confused. Okay, nice. I guess I could play it out. I will keep the Ancient Tomb. And I'll keep the Boromir. And bye-bye to your 7-drop, annoying dude. You can keep a Cloud Post, your Chalice. Okay, let's go get our planes. Isn't this cool? Like, I'm proud of this brew. I'm having fun with this. We go in for 3. Next turn, we do have Seasoned Dungeoneer. This has been shutting off Force. I love bullying this deck. This deck deserves to be bullied. It's so annoying to play against these one-ring decks. Okay, so let's go get a Anointed Peacekeeper, I guess. I'm going to name... Well, we get to see their hand. Oh, yeah, they scooped. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have named the creature. Technically, they didn't have the colored mana. What did they have in hand? So, Thunder Trap, Stock Up. I probably would have named Stock Up. But since they let me look, I mean, they couldn't react. I guess I named Lorien Revealed. Oh, it might make... Yeah, because they wouldn't have had blue. Yeah, I just named Lorien Revealed there. And then it costs 2 extra. They technically do have the 2... Yeah, wow, that was fun. It's fun bullying this deck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like, I've lost to this deck so many freaking times. Disruptor Flute's okay. It is a one-ring deck. We can take out the Chalices for sure. I think we can also take out Solitude. Touch the Spirit Realm's pretty mediocre. They don't really have anything to target. Let's take that out. Now let's bring in lots of stuff. Conqueror, of course. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess Touch comes back in. Maybe Solitude. I mean, they have so few creatures in their deck, and they're all creatures that have like a beneficial ETB. It's a beater. I think Touch is better. I'll just keep 1 Solitude. So we did reduce the number of creatures in our deck. We're down to 24. I think that'll work. And Trinisphere was in early versions of this deck that I was drafting, but I was just kind of like, yeah, Trinisphere. Right now, there's just so much big mana. And this hand is a Cataclysm hand. It's not a fast hand. We can Mox, Plains, Disruptor Flip, but we don't have a clear path to victory here. And Solitude is basically a dead card. I think we mulligan this. This is much better. Oh my god. Gosh, this is so strong. So look at this. We Tark here first. Next turn, boom, Archon. All their lands come in tapped. That slows them down. Or probably Anointed Peacekeeper. And then we can Witch Enchant or Cataclysm. I like it a lot. What's the card that we put back? We have to kind of choose between Archon or Peacekeeper. This only taxes. I think it's Archon over Peacekeeper. But Peacekeeper hits harder. Also, it's a Cleric for Dungeoneer. In case they force this. If they force the Cataclysm, then we can follow up with Dungeoneer. So I think the card that goes back is Archon. Like, they don't care about casting more than 1 spell a turn. It's not like we're up against Karnforge. They're perfectly content to cast 1 spell a turn. I'm going to keep all our mana because we're going to lose a lot of mana when we Witch Enchanter. Like, I'll keep the Tomb. I'll get so I guess I'll already be back at 3. So it's not that bad after the Cataclysm. I'm so happy that we just got to showcase the strength of this not once but twice. Getting Cataclysm twice in one game, that's got to feel rough when you're a Cloud Post deck. Urza's Tower. So they probably have the follow-up card. Yeah, I'll just... I could play this out tapped. I'll just play it out tapped and save the life. All right, do your worst. I definitely smell a 1-ring coming, which I'll take a turn 2 1-ring over a turn 1 ring every day. It's really annoying when they turn 1 ring. I'm glad I put back Archon. We drew a redundant one. Okay, they didn't have it. That's great for us. I think we tax with Anointed Peacekeeper rather than Archon. Yeah. Tomb, Peacekeeper. Ancient Tomb, the best card in Legacy that isn't going to get banned. So let's think about this. They have lots of lands, which is bad for us. They don't have stack interaction. Kozilek's Command is going to be very costly to cast. They don't immediately have enough mana to get rid of our Peacekeeper. So I think we just named the 1-ring here and strand it in their hand. And they can go get an island with that Lorien Revealed, but I don't care. because they've already got like 2 other islands in their deck. They're like, they kept like an all land hand, which is admirable. I think that was the correct move. Oh, they got it. They found it. So 6 mana, they can still One Ring here. Isn't that freaking crazy? And there's a decent chance that they draw a force here, unfortunately. Oh, they're just getting rid of that? Well, they're going to regret that. Oh, these are going to go away too. No. They can freaking cast it with that. Oh, so brutal. Oh my goodness. The degeneracy on display here. And now I do think we're priced into freaking Cataclysming here. I mean, we're getting rid of 2 lands. They have tons of other lands. Maybe we are supposed to put the Dungeoneer out. They may have, who knows what's coming next turn, but they don't have keys in their deck, so they're just drawing 2 cards here. But they'll play a land. Yeah, I think I'm going to Dungeoneer here, sadly. And if it gets forced, we'll just go to the next game. But I need to like get something going. At least the initiative ticks up, and it's like kind of our version of One Ring, if that makes any sense. If I'd named K Command, they would have still One Ring there. So I don't think I punted. Like, I guess I could have thought about like, okay, what are the odds that they draw that? And yeah. All right. If they find a force on top, bad. But they're not going to be able to cast Lorien Revealed. I mean, technically they could, but like, why would they? I think they're most likely just going to play out at one of these islands, unless they found another tower. If they play out the freaking Planeswalker, I'm still going to Cataclysm and get rid of it. Okay, they are going to stock up here. It looks like... Oh, Thunder Trap? That's fine. So they'll have a creature they can keep around to take the initiative back. What I'm going to do is can I Cataclysm and do something else next turn? I would need to draw like a Lotus Petal. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let them have the initiative. I don't care if they take the initiative once. If they take the initiative and can keep me from doing... Oh, Karn. Okay. Cloud Post. Okay. Okay. So I think they're probably going to keep the Planar Nexus here. Dismember, that's a tragedy. I think we lost, sadly. We do get to Lost Well here, and I'm not sure what we could find. Oh, we could find... Yeah, if we find Solitude, we could do that. But they've got Karn coming. Let's Lost Well. I don't want either of these cards. Bottom. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and Cataclysm here. They can rebuild very quickly, but if I draw Solitude, I might Solitude here just to keep the initiative for another turn cycle. Yeah, I think it's got to be a Cataclysm. And then they'll take the initiative and I won't have a way to get it back quickly. But yeah, I have to hope that this does enough. I mean, we are taking out 3 of their lands. It's not nothing. They kept the Cloud Post. I'll go get in the plains here. I will play another Flagstones. And I will pass. They can buff this and I won't be able to take it out. Like if they go down the damage route. Which they should. I mean, they have plenty of card selection, plenty of card draw. Oh, so they get the initiative now. They get to go get a basic. We know they have tons of land in hand. Okay, they got an island. 2 mana, another Thunder Trap. Okay, we're not going to get the initiative back, most likely. They got a Force of Will. That is not good for us. They definitely have blue cards, so we have to cast multiple spells here. I'll play the plains out. I mean, they're just going to force the Dungeoneer. I still feel like we're supposed to cast the most powerful thing in our hand here. I could just not... I could play out the Archon, but they could probably just K-Command it out of the way. Okay. Lord Reveal to exile. They're not tapping this. I think they're going to try to aggro us before they die. Oh, they are tapping it. Okay. I don't know why they wouldn't tap it. They'll find a replacement. They're at 7. Maybe it was a mistake to look at my top cards because I could have forged and then immediately killed them whenever I do damage. Oh, they gained some life there. They're back at 9. Yeah, we're taking 5 here. 4. Next turn, we're getting trapped to death. They discard. Let's think about this. So we Cataclysm, and they still have lethal pressure. So if I go 1, 2, 3, Archon, that can block one of them, but the other one will kill me. No, not necessarily. I could stay alive for 1 turn cycle. I don't know what I would draw, though. I think I can concede here. Now let's think about my play. Was it a punt to name One Ring when they had K-Command in their hand? I didn't know they were going to draw up to 6 mana from 3 mana. That's a pretty big swing. But maybe with that possibility in mind, had I named K-Command, No, they had the One Ring in hand. Any land would have given them One Ring, and I didn't want to give them One Ring. I don't think I made a mistake. It's possible Solitude should come in here. And maybe we cut a couple Chrome Moxes. I know it slows us down a little bit, but the problem with Chrome Mox is it does get shut off by Clarion Conqueror, whom we are absolutely going to slam the moment we get a chance. Yeah, so we'll go down to 1 Chrome Mox. They're not doing anything to interact with our mana anyway, so... Okay, let's mulligan this. This is another Cataclysm hand with Conqueror. So I think what we do is we Plains, then we City, Conqueror. I'm going to put back Touch. I mean, this can technically exile One Ring. But, I mean, I could put back Lotus Petal as well. But Lotus Petal will be very useful if we need a Cataclysm. I'm going to put this back. They mulled a 5. Okay. So my play is going to be Plains. I don't think there's anything that they can play that stops my Lotus Petal, but I would hate for them to play something that stops me from being able to cast it next turn. Then we're going to Conquer, and we'll hold one back, and hopefully they'll force it, because it's devastating to their deck. Like, it shuts off a lot of what they do. They may be able to K-Command, but it's a 3-drop, so they won't be able to K-Command next turn. Flagstones would be great. I think we just go ahead and keep the... We're going to have to lose a land anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and do this now with the Conqueror, and I'll just hold this Plains back, because then what I can do is I can Cataclysm and then play all Plains, and I'll have a permanent. It is not what I want to do next turn. Are you going to dismember this? I'll just play another one, and that'll give me another turn cycle before I have to... oh, they have 4 mana. What do you know? All right. There's a reason this deck that we're playing against had the highest win rate at Eternal Weekend. It was either that or like the not even mid-range, but I think this actually had the highest absolute win rate. It's a very solid deck. Okay, so test with Boromir, but like every turn we wait, they're drawing a bunch of cards. I think we do need to Conquer here. Don't have a freaking force, please. My goodness. So this is shut off until they can K-Command it, which is now basically... If they play a land, they have plenty of mana to K-Command it. It's a disaster. Yeah, they have 7 mana. They can just do the exile, dude. What the hell? They mulled the 5 on the draw, and they're just totally solo, like just destroying us against like the best hate cards you can play. Okay, what else are you going to do with all that mana? You can tap. You can draw a bunch of cards. I cannot stop you. Disruptor Flute. They're going to name Cataclysm. Yep. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? How do I beat your freaking deck? Yeah, it's over. I'm so tilted. Like, I feel like we should... I built my deck specifically to be able to beat these decks. All right, let's see how we do in round 3. All right, round 3. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. I felt like we were so close. That was so frustrating. It's frustrating to play against One Ring decks. That much is for sure. It's Nadu and One Ring. Okay, so our opponent has played Storm before. I mean, like, if they're on Storm, this is actually not that bad of a hand. Because what we could do is we Plains, Chrome Mox, Imprint Witch Enchanter, Chrome Mox, Imprint Anointed Peacekeeper, Boromir. Now they can't cast 0 mana spells, which includes all their fast mana. That is a heck of a gambit because this is a crappy hand otherwise. It's got 3 Mox in. Let's see if we can do better. I don't like that. I don't like pitching my entire hand on speculation. Okay, Chalice on 0 is something we can do here. We could Chalice on 0 and... Oh, what we can do is we can... Ancient Tomb. No, we don't have enough... Oh, Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox on Anointed Peacekeeper, Archon. That will stop a Storm player in their tracks. We could put back the City. I feel like I'm here for that. If they're on any sort of combo, this will punch a hole for sure. It's going to leave a mark. They mulled a 5. Okay, they are on combo. And this also addresses Oops-All spells. Oops-All spells can't win if they can only cast 1 spell per turn. It's been a while since I've played this because I've been playing Cavern builds, but we can't play Caverns when we have Cataclysm in our deck. The mana, it's too colored mana intensive. But if I peek at their hand with Anointed Peacekeeper, then I can decide whether to chalice 1 or 2, or 0 or 1. I think I look with Peacekeeper. And this is a bigger body that gets the job done faster. Oh, yeah. So we have to... I mean, they're definitely on Storm. I think we have to Chalice on 0 because they're going to Thoughtseize us here. I could make them not able to cast Thoughtseize. I don't care about Veil. Veil does nothing against me. Thoughtseize... Well, actually, Veil could allow them to cast things through Chalice because it says your spells can't be countered. So if they do that... but they won't be able to Veil if I Chalice for 1. So if I name Thoughtseize here... First of all, that makes me wonder, like, what does he have in hand that he's naming Thoughtseize? But if we just play the Chalice on 0, then they have to use a Veil just to cast their LEDs, and that's the key to the deck. I think I do want to Chalice on 1, though, instead of 0. Just because they have this Veil. That may seem weird. Yeah, I'm going to name Thoughtseize. Hopefully they don't just dumpster us as a result of me not having Chalice down this turn cycle. But next turn we have nothing to do but cast a Chalice, and I could even Chalice on 2, which shuts off a lot of their payoffs. But Chalicing on 1 shuts off Veil, and it shuts off Dark Rituals. So I think it'll be good enough on their mana. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and name Thoughtseize. Well, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to just name 0, and I'll make them use the Veil in a really awkward way to be able to cast stuff out. Let's go ahead and name, it was Infernal Tutor. And this might buy us a couple turns so we can hit him in the face. Archon would have been solid, though, had I gone with that. I do want to keep a card in my hand just to try to bait him into Thoughtseizing. Because they could like brainstorm this back later. Let the beats commence. I don't think that's going to be good against them. I'll play this out. We'll just chill. It could be that like maybe they do build up like a bunch of lands, like get 3 lands out, and it's worth it. But I would have to decide between my artifacts. I don't really like that. Another Delta. All right, Witch Enchanter. We could wait till we have something to target, or we could just pile on damage. My instinct is just pile on damage. How much damage is it? So they're at 11. So currently they're on a 4-turn clock. If we play this out, it turns it into a 3-turn clock. So it saves us a turn cycle. I think it's correct to do it. We do lower the number of storms that they need to kill us. I think I'm going to do it. Because I'm not expecting them to kill us quickly when we have Chalice out. But like they could... Yeah, so they are going to probably Veil to get around Chalice. But again, it costs them a card. They've been an Infernal Tutor. If they're an Ad Nauseam deck, which I suspect they are, they don't have a lot of life to work with here. If they try to do some crazy like Goblin line or something like that, we have that covered with Cataclysm. Empty the Warrens. I don't know if you even remember what that card does. I haven't seen it in some time. Okay, this Chalice on 1 seems pretty solid. Let's do that now. And this shuts off Veils and zeros through. Chalice is so good. I think that's the recurring theme of this league. Wasn't great in the previous round because they were a Chalice deck, but in general it's very good. So here, Disruptor Flute. I think we won it. And I also think we won Clarion Conqueror to shut down all their artifact mana. Cataclysm isn't good against their deck, unfortunately. Touch the Spirit Realms doesn't do a lot. I think we can cut it. Solitude doesn't do a lot either. I mean, it's possible Touch the Spirit Realms better than Solitude because they have 0 creatures to target. I think I'll take out the Solitudes, and I guess I could play 1 Cataclysm, but it's probably better to just play a threat. I think I'll just keep 1 Solitude. But Boromir is going to rock. We probably won't get a turn. They'll probably try to mull to like a turn 1. But I don't even know if their deck is capable of reliably turn 1-ing. It is a slower, more stable combo deck than like the Necrodominance or Oops All Spells type decks. Boromir is solid. We have turn 1 Chalice on 0 or on 1. I think we have to Chalice on 1 and expect them to play out their cards. This is not a good matchup, by the way. If you're wondering, I don't have high hopes, and I don't think we mulligan. I don't know what we'd be mulliganing. So we'll turn 1 Chalice for sure. And I'll Chalice on 1. With the expectation that they are going to... They made Thoughtseize, so a lot of this deliberation may be pointless. If Boromir sticks, he shuts off all their 0 drops anyway, so it's definitely Chalice on 1. And interestingly, Boromir also shuts off like There are lines that involve Beseech the Mirror because they can't cast stuff that doesn't cost mana. Shows off Gaia's Will. It shows off a lot. This is actually a really good card against them. They kept. Like a lot of their interaction cards are likely, they have the Gift of Fish card. Okay, LED. Petal. Chromox. Are they going to win now with no land? They could if their last card is, oh, they're just playing it out with no imprint. All right. All right, that's another Boromir in case they Thoughtseize our current one out, but I don't think he's going to matter that much. But I mean, he could. We'll see. Yeah, I think secretly he's just insane against Storm is my instinct. I'm definitely going to prioritize him over Anointed Peacekeeper. Witch Enchanter would be nice too. We can follow up with that the subsequent turn. So they could do, oh, they're not doing it. They're not putting the LED on this, like with LED on stack. Yeah. Pop down our Lord of the Rings hero. Beautiful art on this guy, by the way. If you're a fan of MTG art, you have to admire the shield looks substantial, as does that cape. Underground Mortuary. I mean, it might make actually sense to Cataclysm. We don't need anything else. We can just beat them down over the course of a few turns. If they play a third land, I probably will Cataclysm. If they play a land and pass, I'll just keep the Tomb. They probably have Chrome Mox. I just don't know why they played this. Like I think they jumped the gun. They were really, technically they had another turn window before I would have had anything in it. Yeah, like on the draw, I think it's always wrong to Chalice for 0. Okay. I think we just attack and then, I mean, I could anoint a Peacekeeper to see their hand, but it's so tempting to just go ahead and Wrath. Because we get a Petal probably. This Mox goes out of play. They lose a land. I'll go ahead and attack. And then next turn, we can just go ahead and slam our Peacekeeper anyway, but we've disrupted them. Yeah, because we're basically depriving them of 2 mana. I'm going to do it. They're like, what? Why is this in against me? That's probably what they're thinking. It's a one-of. The original build of the deck, I just had 1, but I'm like, no, this is so good against the Carnforge decks that I'm going to play 4 of them. Because I have Moxes, I have Solitudes, so it's not that dead, and you do want to draw it in most matches. Okay, they're going in and using their Petal here. So I'm going to choose, boom, and I mean, I think I do keep I'll just keep this one. Yeah, because okay, they are keeping the LED. Okay, they had another land, so I probably should have waited. I mean, who knows? They might be going for it this turn if I'd waited. Disruptor Flute. I think this is just a let's jam the Anointed Peacekeeper first before combat, and we are getting low in life. Okay, let's skip to that. Yeah, wow, Hateful Permanence beating Storm without the need of that terrible card, Deafening Silence. So we're 2-1. See you in round 4. Round 4, we're up against a likely Stompy player. They've been playing Eldrazi. That makes Chalice pretty awkward. I also don't like taking damage from Witch Enchanter here. This is a mull. I mean, if they're a Stompy deck player, we put back Chalice. Let's take a look at their history again. Yeah, a lot of Eldrazi, a lot of like mono red, red, white, like a lot of Stompy. Ancient Tomb in every format, basically, except I guess in Legacy and Vintage. I don't need to mull deeper. I think I just put back the Chalice, and I have stuff I can do. Solitude is great against their deck. If they're on that deck. If they're on like just playing, Island Pass or something, it's pretty good. Archon is pretty good, actually, because oh no. This might be the Cascade deck. In which case, Archon's very good. I think I'm just going to lead with Archon here. I'm going to cast both of these. Hopefully they don't I actually don't know. Okay, it's in. So future lands are coming in tapped, and if they're on the Cascade deck, it serves them right. Okay, City of Traders. I can't save the Cascade deck. It's not Magic. It's putting something on the stack and then F6ing. I think here we can play this out, but there's no target. There might not ever be a target, and we'd use our only white source in the process. I think what I want to do is just hold this up, and that way if they somehow interact with this, I can touch it to save it. They just scooped. That was quick. They have left the game. Okay, so they haven't left the match. It's confusing. They're still in the match. I'm going to assume that they're on some degenerate thing, and I'm going to bring in Disruptor Flute. Because this way you can at least name, let's see, cast. It makes Clarion Conqueror is not good in that matchup. I'm going to take a Chalice, and I'm just going to bring in Disruptor Flutes. And I'll bring in a single Clarion Conqueror. No, wait, I'll bring in, I mean, just in case they're on a creature build, it does make sense to bring in a Plow. This is also just solos Cascade, by the way. Our deck is like Cascade's worst nightmare, basically. I think between the Solitude and the Plow, we're fine. Cataclysm will be insane if they're like a land-heavy deck and they're all about just like dirtling until they have enough lands in play and we're taking all their lands away. Yeah. And we'll learn more about their deck, but it's telling that their deck scoops to a turn 1 Archon. And not the kind of Archon that people in Legacy are used to scooping to. This is a turn 2 Seasoned Dungeoneer. We don't actually have the mana for it. This doesn't disrupt at all, but like I suspect Cataclysm is going to be good against their deck. I could totally be wrong. We have the Flagstones as well. I'm going to keep this. We'll learn more about their deck. Because if we draw like any of our... Oh yeah, they're definitely on the Cascade deck. I'm going to punish them. Yeah, like so Plow's not going to do anything, but we don't really have anything to do here. I could play this out tapped, just so I don't have to deal with it later. But it could go under a Mox. We might be able to Cascade more than once here. Or, Cataclysm more than once. If they have the thing where they get the... there is a way they can go off on turn 2, which is really annoying. There's nothing I can do to stop it. There aren't any permanents in their deck, other than like stuff that incidentally is a permanent, but it has Cascade. So I think I play this out. I'm just going to... My life total doesn't matter, but it could matter. I don't know. I'm just going to play out the Flagstones and pass. I'll play out the Plains. Yeah, I'll play out the Flagstones because if I draw like an Ancient Tomb, I might want to immediately do it and get my stuff before I Dungeoneer just to kill some of their permanents. Okay, Mossfire. So this is only 3 mana. It was a good read on this being Cascade. I haven't seen this outside of Cascade. And the less I see it, the better. All right. So unfortunately, we don't have any game actions here. I think I just play out this. I can play this out tapped. I think we're going to die, unfortunately. But if they somehow like play another thing and then pass, I am going to slam, absolutely slam Cataclysm here. Okay, so we could find... I think this was a mistake. So let's go ahead and do our thing. Oh, Disruptor Flute. So I think this is already on the stack, right? Like they just cast it straight up. I think maybe we name Creative Technique here. So they can't cast it more, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think we're going to die here. So now they get their first copy. They still get to do it because it's on the stack already. So they get 2 Creative Techniques, but I think the goal is they get lots of Creative Techniques, not just 2. And if they get like a whole bunch of stuff out, but they can't continue the combo because they don't have mana, then we Cataclysm. We clear all the crap that they played out. Tybalt's Trickery. Okay. They can do this. Oh, wait. What happened? Okay. I don't know what happened, but I'll take it. I don't care to know what happened. Okay. So here is just going to be like, I'm not going to mess around with their lands. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll put this. Are we ever going to cast this? Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and Cataclysm here. I'll put Plow under it. We'll keep Disruptor Flute. Painfully, I don't think we want to keep this Mox. Then we'll have 2 lands. If we keep this, we're closer to doing stuff. Maybe this was a mistake. So we're only going to have 2 lands. 3 lands. I think I actually keep the Mox. And I'll keep the Plains here. But we do get a Plains. Okay, they're keeping this one, which fixes their mana. Okay, and now we're just 1 land away from casting Dungeoneer or Cataclysming again if we absolutely have. Okay, now they have 3 mana represented. Peacekeeper. Let's take a look at the hand over there. Okay, so they can potentially cast Creative Technique next turn. Yeah, I'll just name Creative Technique. And now this costs 2 more, I believe. So they'll need another thing. This is a lot of mana. 6 mana. They'll have 5. They could have 6 if they sequence it over 2 turns. When this discover 5, discard the card. We can kill it. I'm not sure what discovering 5 does exactly. I can't remember how that keyword works. So we're going to name Creative Technique. And then I guess we're just going to have to Cataclysm again next turn if we have a land. Which reduces us to just 2 permanents. Or 3, technically. But it'll get rid of like 2 of their lands. Okay, so now they have 4. So that's their card that they drew for turn. So I believe their hand is City of Traders, Boseiju, Creative Technique, Tybalt's Trickery, which is a terrible card, by the way. They're never going to use it. It's not meant to be drawn. It's meant to be revealed. And, oh yeah. We can keep this. They could play this Trumpeting Carnosaur next turn with City of Traders, so I do want to go ahead and nuke their board again. Let's go ahead and attack first. I say nuke their board, but I'm nuking both of our boards, sadly. All right, so let's go boom, 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 Cataclysm. And we're still at 3 mana. Oh, they're going to do something in response? Trickery. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. They're keeping the Sandstone Needle. Interesting. So they still have Trickery in hand. This only taps once. We just need a land and we can Dungeoneer and that'll be pretty good. But they have access to 3 mana and we know that they have more coming. Oh, that's good. And this is a Cleric, so this does get buffed by Seasoned Dungeoneer. They're going to Tybalt's Trickery, counter target spell, mills that many cards, and exiles the cards from the top of their library until they, with a different name than that spell. Okay. I have no idea how this is going to work. Touch the Spirit Realm. Exile up to 1 target. Okay. There's no point in casting it, unfortunately. That sucks. So that actually did work. I didn't think they would do anything. They did use their freaking land there. So this is a grindy game. And if I lose this, I get to be on the play. And I think we can figure out a way to dispatch them because we have so many I win the game cards. Okay, Flagstones, this is great. Now I'm going to take some more damage here. We're going to get the initiative introduced. So they can Creative Technique next turn. I'll get my basic planes here. And I will pass. We can kill them pretty quickly with this. Because we can like advance through the dungeon really quick. But that's 5 mana. Creative Technique only requires 1 red. Okay, are they going to demonstrate? Please demonstrate. Okay. Yeah, I will take that demonstrate. I'll play a Solitude. I'm not going to target anything, but I'll take it. I think we might lose now. Throes of Chaos. So they're going to Cascade. You're going to see just how F6y this deck is. If that makes sense. Like you can just F6 and walk away if you want. I believe that's how it works. Tybalt's Trickery. Okay. And yeah, we're not going to be able to beat this Apex Devastator, unfortunately. It's like 4 Cascades. And these will all cascade into spells that cascade. Yeah. So that's the end of the game. Very fun. And I am sorry if I'm like overly facetious, but this is not what Magic's about. All right. I was correct about it being the deck. I don't think Clarion Conqueror helps us at all. Chalice does not help us at all. Because they don't... None of the spells have 0 mana value. Yeah, I think we have to run it back with the same deck configuration. I mean, could be that Conqueror is better than Solitude just because it's cheap, but it does also stop like some of our stuff. I don't want to do it. And it could be maybe like that turn that I decided to keep the Mox instead of the Disruptor Flute. I don't think that was correct though, because they can just wait an extra turn and play an extra mana. Okay, so this is a turn 1 Boromir, which solos them. I'm going to keep this. And then we follow up with Dungeoneer 2 turns later. Boromir says, whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter it. So they do have ways of removing him, but he should get us through the first few turns. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and play out Peacekeeper here. I could play out hold touch so that I can remove this from play if they have something to discard. I'm going to... Yeah, this is what I was worried about. 2 red, discard. So they can stop. I'll name Creative Technique because it's in their hand. And now they have to choose which of these they want to go after. Which this is the more powerful of the 2. Okay, this is the 3 mana. They can do the Trumpeting Carnosaur thing. Okay, so this is the Ring Bearer. Not that it really matters because they don't have blockers. And this is an example of where had I touched, that would have worked out better for us. I am going to just introduce the initiative and hope that that helps us. We are going low in life, but I don't think it'll matter too much. Okay, so we get a planes here. Let's go to attack. Let's see what our top card is. Seasoned Dungeoneer. I don't need that. I'm going to bin it. I need to find another Boromir. They're going to die very quickly, but they do have Creative Technique, Hardcast. Well, they don't. Never mind. They could Throes of Chaos into... That's probably what they're going to do, is they're going to Throes of Chaos into Tybalt's Trickery into Creative Technique, but they still have to pay the mana, I believe. If they find Creative... Okay. What is that? Okay, it didn't find anything. That's great. All right. Oh, wait. Can I kill them this turn with Seasoned Dungeoneer? I think I might be able to. So let's forge onto our Anointed Peacekeeper here. And we're just going to do dumb initiative things, which is what the situation calls for. All right. We're 3-1. See you in the final round. Final round. Fighting for the 4-1 here after only losing to blue Carnforge, which is not a deck that I wanted to lose to. It's not really Carnforge technically. We're up. I mean, our opponent could be playing anything. They've been playing blue-black Reanimator, but they also play Vintage and they've played blue-black Tempo. I'm going to assume that they're on blue-black Reanimator because I don't think we win games where we hope that they aren't. That is the most represented deck in Legacy, and it's also by far the best deck in Legacy. This is a turn 2 Chalice. Solitude. I mean, Chalice is really good against blue-black Reanimator and blue-black Tempo, but there's a decent chance it won't resolve. I don't want to mold deeper until I know what they're on. Chalice is good against most decks. I'm going to keep this. I think the card that goes back is Witch Enchanter because it dies. I'm not expecting to use this Solitude early. It'll be like a later. Yeah, if they Tamio, it will be annoying. This getting Wastelanded is not a big deal. It's basically a Plains in all eyes other than Blood Moon. Yeah, I'll put back the Witch Enchanter. Okay, and then I'll just lead Plains, pass. And days will be online in addition to forces for our Chalice. So it's not a great start. Dryad Arbor. Okay, so it's on. I'm going to presume it's a Nadu strategy, unfortunately. Okay, and now we could just anoint a Peacekeeper and see what's going on over there. And then Chalice based on that information. But there's a decent chance they'll have a plow anyway. But Peacekeeper gets something on the table at least. I think I'm just going to Chalice and hope they're not... Like, they may be on the green version. Yeah. Again, I'm too much of a coward to not have Chalice on the table. Because if they have, like, Brainstorms and Ponders and Plows and stuff like that, that's really bad for us. If they're on the Court of Calling version, this probably doesn't do as much because they have access to Allosaurus Shepherd. Yeah, it's Nadu. Okay, Kenai, that's fine. I can just needle his ability. And then he's a 3/3 though. Okay, actually I could just cast Solitude. I think that's the play. Solitude is, but yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to assume that if they're playing this, they're not playing enough mana to support Force of Will, which could be a fatal assumption here. But Solitude, this is a very good Solitude target. All right. Yep. Bye. All right. Hopefully they have a lot of like elves and stuff that can't be cast in here. Caracas. Okay. Nadu. So we can figure out what to name with an Anointed Peacekeeper, but unfortunately Nadu is bigger than all our creatures. I'm going to play the Flagstones out so I don't have to take damage doing this. They force. They did have the force. Pitching a Tommy. Okay. Well, yeah, there's a decent chance we're just dead if they have Court of Calling. I can't attack, but if they attack, I attack back and I at least gain life. They're still winning the race, but not forever if the race goes on long enough. Yeah, here's Quarter Calling for this. Oh, they're going to get the ETB tap or the ETB trigger, dude. Now they play a land. Yeah, I'm done. All right, so Cataclysm is good in this matchup, assuming we can get there fast enough. I mean, I guess I could have like drawn a Cataclysm and maybe gotten out of this. Maybe that was a premature concession. Okay, so Clarion, very good against. I think Plow comes in here, and they just like Chalice just isn't strong enough. Frankly, it's not a big enough bottleneck because they have they're on the Bant version that's playing Force, not the Quarter Calling version. Archon's still good. Touch is fine. We got tons of removal. That's what we want. I think we take out the Chrome Mox just because it does get trampled over by Clarion Conqueror. It's such a bad top deck too. But then we don't actually even have any artifacts to keep when we Cataclysm. Witch Enchanter. No, I don't want to take out Witch Enchanter. It pitches. It's so hard. So hard. Boromir shuts off Force. I'm not convinced he shuts off anything else. Dungeoneer's dangerous, frankly, with the number of creatures, especially some of them that have trample. I kind of think we take her out. Like, I know that sounds meek. The way we beat them is we just outvalue them, I think. And no, like Clarion shutting down multiple cards, I think is the way we beat them. And maybe get like a giant Cataclysm. And if we're going to Cataclysm aggressively, we may not have the mana for her anyway. We're down to 23 creatures. I guess that's not too far from where we were before. All right. How much do I believe in Cataclysm? Not this much. This is another Cataclysm hand with the flagstones. I don't want to put back the Cataclysm. I do want to use it here. So what do we put back? I think we put back Boromir because Archon is more impactful. But Boromir does shut off. Really, it just shuts off Force. I think that's the only free spell in their deck. So I am going to keep Boromir or Archon instead. And I do want to keep Solitude just because if we get the mana or if we have to desperately pitch cast to like stop a Tamio or something, let's keep. Our opponent kept 7, unfortunately. Yeah, I do feel like we can't wait around forever to yeah, we need this Mox. Yeah, I'll put back Boromir. It saddens me to do so. All right, and now we're really going to test how good is Cataclysm against a go or wide strategy. It's not like totally go wide, but it's kind of go wide. My kids are home if you hear them screaming at each other. They just got back from the park. They had a very exhausting day, and sometimes they, right before dinner, they're like at their minimum energy, and they start getting really whiny. Okay. Tamio. No bueno. We can't do anything. I'm not going to pitch Archon at this point. They have Plow in their deck too. This is a nightmare. Oh, so we have the option of Solituding here. If we Archon, they can still attack in. It doesn't even really do anything. If they just have a Plow, it's like we just lost all. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. All right. So this is a Chrome Mox. Probably, I mean, Solitude's our sole point of interaction. I think I have to get them to overextend, get lots of creatures out, and then the Cataclysm. That's how we win. We win by Cataclysming. I could just Solitude pitching Archon. No, I need to have this Mox out, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. Okay, we'll put the Solitude under it. Archon. It's in. All right, they're going to be able to create clues, but they can only have one clue when Cataclysm goes off. They may not be able to cash very many of them in. They have the freaking Plow. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Like, this deck has it all, basically. Again, if I wasn't like so burnt on Nadu play patterns, I'd probably be playing something like this myself. It's hard to beat. This, I believe, actually had the highest win rate of all decks. You know what? Go ahead, flip her. But as long as you don't have Force. If you have Force to stop my Cataclysm, then I'm going to be very sad. But I will get rid of her. Man, I'm so worried. I'm going to like give up everything on my table. They may regrow something. I think they're going to try to Put her to the moon. I need to put out a creature. Boromir. He shuts off force. And then next turn we Cataclysm. We get more value. Hopefully they don't have another plow. That'll be really annoying. They could regrow a plow, which would be fine. And don't have the force. Well, it doesn't matter if they have the force if they can't clear. Okay, yeah. Play out. That's fine. Play out a land. Okay, that's fine. That does mean that they can block now. Okay, that's fine. Any more material you'd like to commit to the table? Yeah, we got backup Cataclysm. I mean, like this could solo us, unfortunately. So we're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this. Everything else dies. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna continue to get bigger, unfortunately. They can keep the clue. They lose the Tommy. They are keeping the Sith Cat. So they're going in on that, which is fine. And it hurts both of us, but it hurts me a lot less. All right, and I don't have good attacks, but I do have vigilance. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They said spicy. Would you like to trade this off? I don't think you will. Oh no, it gets debuffed. Oh no, no. I totally forgot about the freaking debuff from Tomio. Oh my goodness, that was such a huge punt, my excellent friends. I don't punt that hard often. Gosh, what a freaking embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Okay, and now they're probably going to win. Like I don't have, I mean, I do have plows I could draw. They're pondering here. They can probably find land. If they find a fetch, they could just kill us very quickly with this thing. Gosh, I feel so dumb. So dumb. Oh my goodness. They get 4 here. I need to draw something good now. I think I'm actually going to... I mean, gosh, so hard. Because if I draw a soul land, I can cast this, and this might flip the script. But they might have a force in hand that they've been waiting for. I'm not going to pitch cast it yet. I'm going to wait till I'm on Death's Door, then I'll cast it. Yeah, there's the land. They've got the clue online. They get the trigger. I guess for 6 here. Okay. They're not even hitting us. Okay, they are. Good. Because if they aren't, that means they're going to cast a... So they can choose this as a land instead of a creature and keep up the creature. Okay, that's not good enough. So, am I dead next turn if I wait? If I'm just going to wait one more turn. Just one more freaking turn. Come on. You can do this, deck. I really want to cast the Solitude on this thing. If I hadn't punted, like, I think I would be actually ahead because I could guaranteed Solitude that, and then I'd have the biggest creature on the table. Brainstorm. They're going to find a fetch. And it doubles the number of counters, so I'm dead. So it goes 4, and then it goes... Okay, and Cataclysm doesn't work anymore, like as a solution. If they can just keep this and lethal me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to believe. I think it's extremely naive to believe here. Let's try this. I'm going to try it on my just to reduce the likelihood of them having something. And then after I've cleared this, I can wipe the board next turn, losing all my lands in the process. That worked. That's good. And this is no guarantee that we're surviving. Gosh, I can't believe that punt. I'm so tilted. Another Lotus Petal. Well, I think we do Cataclysm, which gets... I mean, it gets rid of everything but one of these lands. And then if they attack... I mean, they'll keep probably the Tundra, and then it's just a question of whether they draw the thing. They probably haven't drawn it yet. If we wait a turn cycle and they get it, because we can regain the 3 life that they get. I think we just wait one more turn. Yeah, I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna lose 2 lands in the process. It's not pretty. I want to at least have 4 so I can, well, ponder. I think that there's a very high likelihood that they find a force, unfortunately, which they haven't had a plow. So like if this were still in play, I'd be fine because I could, what is it? This is probably something that triggers it. Okay. So they're going to go get the sacrifice lands thing and that triggers a lot. Yeah. This gives, so I can attack and get my life back. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and Cataclysm first. That way these won't be on the table. They can get Shroud, but it's not protection, right? They can get a bunch of Nadu triggers. Okay, Clarion Conqueror. That's pretty damn good. So I can go ahead and Cataclysm now. they'll lose 2 of these things. I gain my 3 life back. I have Lotus Petal to help me cast and Conqueror, but that locks that off permanently. I think that's still fine, though. So they're going to get a few triggers on the way out, which is unfortunate, but unavoidable, sadly. Oh, Force Negation? Okay. Well, that's good. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I need this life back. If they double block, it's pretty catastrophic. They're just letting it through. Oh, wait. I'm dead to them freaking crackback. Yeah. I mean, they played well. I didn't. Frankly, that's how the cookie crumbles. But I love this deck. It was fun. So that was a 3-2. Still positive record, but like I feel like if I'd played correctly, that final round could have been a win. I don't know about the blue deck. I don't know whether it can be beaten. The blue Cloud Post deck. I don't think I've ever beaten it. Like I might have beaten it like once or twice, but it's so hard to beat because it's like the apex control deck in terms of mana production and everything. So, but like I do think that Cataclysm is good against that deck, and I have multiple Cataclysms that I could have cast. It makes sense that they weren't countering my Solitude and stuff like that because they didn't. Let's see. If I had chosen to play out the other one, it wouldn't have gotten the Clarion Conqueror last turn. I think I actually would have survived, but it was counterintuitive to do so because it was locked off my own mana, and it would prevent me from being able to Cataclysm the subsequent turn. I didn't think they had a force effect because they didn't force the Solitude, but they had force of negation, not force of will. So I'm just kind of like thinking back through all the different things. But obviously, attacking with Boromir was definitely the punt of the league. Don't forget the Talmio trigger still there, even if Talmio's not. Again, I'm going to be tossing and turning tonight thinking about. I'm just glad it happened in a relatively low stakes league. It wasn't like a trophy was on the line. But I'll just be very more cognizant of that until Talmio is eventually banned. None of the cards in this deck are going to get banned. This is not a one-ring deck like Moon Stompy is, so you don't need to worry about any changes. I consider this a Terra Firma type deck to play where it's just going to be good. And they'll gradually print more and more powerful white cards like Boromir. I think he's great. He showed up really well against that Mississippi River Cascade abomination. And by the way, if I trash my opponent's decks, it's not me trashing my opponents. Everybody was chill. And generally legacy players are. They're not like crazy spikes trying to like angle shoot you and stuff like that, which doesn't even happen on MTGO, I don't think. I mean, technically you could angle shoot somebody by like doing clock build, like weird clock stuff if they're low on clock, but I've had people do that occasionally, but it's, that's about the extent to which, and I actually really prefer the chess clock mode where you can take your time and you don't have to worry about somebody hustling you and trying to like, because I do get tilted sometimes when people are like, you're taking forever to resolve that ponder, and we're on a shared clock. I'm like, you're right, I am. Sorry. But I do like the lack of need for judges and stuff like that on MTGO. It's really nice knowing that your opponents can't cheat, at least not in ways that we know of. Yeah, I mean, the list felt great. The Fairy Macabre was really important in the matchup against... Man, that was such an epic game against Blue-Black Reanimator, casting the Fairy as a blocker and then being able to... Like, I was so close. I think I had my button on the resignation button. My finger was on the button, and then I realized, oh, damn, I can cast this. So definitely kudos to me for like... Normally this would never be castable, but there were literally 2 Lotus Petals out of the 4 that were out there that allowed us to cast this. Yeah, I love it. I had a blast. I hope you did too. Try this out. Try out freaking Cataclysm. Obviously, sweet card. I think it's way better than Armageddon or Wrath of God because it's both. It is like a little more situational and requires a little more setup. I was very happy with Flagstones of Trocare. It got me so many lands throughout the league. I think this is a 4 of. I was like, oh, maybe it's a 2 of. Like, why not 4 of? Worst case scenario, you have the second one, you play it out, and you just go get a land with it. And it enters tapped, but you tap it, and then you keep the one that's not tapped, and then you still get your mana. So it's not like you're, tempoing yourself to play this out. I think 6 planes is probably enough. We didn't go up against Moon Stompy, but with the Petals and the Chrome Mox, I think it's like even under a Blood Moon conditions, you're probably still going to be able to find white. The only time you need double white is when you're casting Cataclysm or Solitude. I'm not playing there are lots of good double white creatures that I'm not playing just because I think it's less consistent when you have 8 soul lands. I did, kind of experiment with like maybe a Wasteland version of this, but it's too many colorless lands. And you could see like we were getting in situations where we didn't necessarily have white when we wanted it, even with this many white sources. So I don't really have any other thoughts to say. It's a bummer that Witch Enchanter never blew anything up, but the fact that she can get tucked under a Mox and she can potentially shut down like a ensnaring bridge or something that would otherwise end the game for us, I think she's worth playing for. We did a lot of self-damage this league. That's definitely something to be cognizant of as you play these types of Stompy decks. Not really avoidable, in my opinion. Like the power is worth the price when you're talking about having City of Traders. Speaking of which, this deck would be very cheap if City of Traders were not on the reserve list. I will once again petition MTG or Wizards of the Coast, please make some sort of functional reprint, like a card that's even better than this, because Stompy deserves to be an archetype. Like, we need aggro decks that can prison and stuff. I think this is very healthy Magic. Like, people need to be able to, like, the fact that we could beat a Storm player, we could beat like a dedicated combo deck that does nothing but like cast one spell and then cascade. Like, the fact that we can beat that with our prison deck is a testament to like Legacy being a dynamic, inclusive format that has lots of different, play expression. You don't just have to play Nadu or Entomb or the One Ring. You can actually play a lot of different things and still do well. And we didn't do as well as I wanted to, but I'm still happy with how we did, considering this is a brew. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.